Hello everyone, thank you for watching this Sellavin Game Late. You are Naruto Shippuden episode 480 Naruto-HINATA. This episode was definitely a story. It's technically filler, it's not canon, but it answers a lot of questions and it's pretty interesting. Alright, let's get started. I really like the opening. Tell me your story. It has all the characters grown up. It has grown up, like this is kind of a tribute, a little bit to Naruto, the last Naruto the movie, because you get to see the characters growing up after the time skip, the first one, after the other time skip before the last time skip, after the war ended. The opening was is tell me your story, your story, it's pretty good. I really like the theme of it. The theme was definitely very good, And kind of happy, like everything was over after all they went through. They finally had some peace right now, after everything they went through. I really like that. I like that, I like that we get to see them as growing up, This is the opening was definitely a shout out to the last, it's very good. If you guys are like the last Naruto the movie, it's definitely gonna be. You're probably gonna like this. Anyway, let's get started with this. This episode. This episode is gonna be about a filler arc where you get to see some of our protagonists of the story as children and how they grew up. Let's start with the first half. The first half is about Naruto. We know that Naruto was an outcast because of the nine-tailed fox. Like he couldn't make friends. Like overall, he couldn't make friends. He was alone most of the time. The reason why, because the adults were afraid of him because of the nine-tailed fox, and the adults didn't want, and they didn't want their kids to play with Naruto. Thought that he would do something bad or whatever, and so he was always an outcast and stuff, and he couldn't make a lot of friends. That's one of the reasons why Naruto became so mischievous, because he got scolded to get attention. We get to see some of our characters. See in this story, we get to see some of our favorite characters. We get to see little Sasuke. We even get to see little Neji in the Hinata story. All right, and I'll get to that. And I'll get to that in a minute. And we also get to see that Naruto, despite all this, and he never let him. He did feel sad, but there's a part of him that because he was alone, he didn't know what to do. No one basically, told him what was right and what was wrong, overall. But he did try to do his best and to try to look forward to things. We also get to see that the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, was looking out for him even all the way back then. And back then, even tried to teach him some things and knowledge about stars and stuff, tried to teach him things, No, and remember, the third Hokage did look out for Naruto for a long time, even after Minato died. We had to see Minato's face covered in shadow, we had to see that he was tried to look forward to be Hokage even way back then. He wanted something, but he didn't know what it was. And it wasn't until much later that he's going to be Hokage, and that's one of the things really liked about Naruto, because of how unpredictable he was. But he never let nothing almost bring him down. He always stood back up. Anyway, we get the Hinata story. But we don't got this. But we get to see most of it, a little bit of Neji point of view. We get to see that Neji training hard as a kid. At only 4 years old. 4. So, Hinata and Neji's relationship. We all know that the Hyuga Clan had this, ruling in class, different. You got the main family and the branch family, where the branch family has to listen to the main family, even getting to put the curse mark on them to make sure that they become obedient and stuff. This is about Neji and this is a Hinata story. This is about a little bit of mostly Neji's story, how they first got started, how they became close, how they first met. Even though I watched the original series of Naruto from Neji's point of view, the first time I ever watched Naruto fully, like a couple of the episodes was when Neji and Naruto and Neji first had their fight in the tuning exam, had their big fight in the tuning exam. That was one of my favorite moments. That's how I really got into Naruto for me. That was my best. That was for me was my favorite. My cousins were talking about Naruto. They basically trolled me into it, and was on all the time for a long time. So I figured, hell, I'll give it a shot. Anyway, enough about me. We get to see that Hinata, and Neji, they're both struggling with the legacy of the Hyuga Clan, but they always tried to look out for each other and stuff. They knew that the fate of the Hyuga Clan were put on their shoulders. So Hinata being the heir to the main family, Neji destiny is to serve the main family, to protect the family at all costs, overall. But Hinata, she tries to. There's a part of her that's trying to struggle with this, trying to wish that she wasn't like this. That why was she born into the main family? Neji, however, tries to cheer her up, saying it's not all bad. Basically saying that everything's important, it's on you, and that we all are here to help and support you. Basically, he's saying that how important you are, that you're very important. Basically, he's telling her not to give up, overall. But there's one thing I gotta note a little bit. We get to see a funeral. And it seems like for Neji's father, even Neji, there's a part of him that that's not how sad. There is a part of him that is in pain overall. We get to see Hinata sees that pain overall, seeing how hurt Neji is. She couldn't do anything about it to take away his pain, and she leaves the funeral and cries and be by herself. But it wasn't until after that, that Naruto comes and finds her out in the snow by herself. This is a callback to to last Naruto the movie. We know about snow. Of the meaning of snow. The meaning of snow and what and it has to and the changing of the seasons and stuff like that. Snow is a very big significance in the last Naruto the movie, and it's also significant in this. The meaning that it holds, for a lot of reasons. You guys don't understand it. Go watch the movie. If you guys watch the movie, you understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched the movie, I'm not going to spoil it too much for you. But it's about how Naruto and Hinata's their relationship, overall. Because I don't want to spoil it. We all know what happens to them in the end. If you read the manga, you know what I mean. And we also let them know that you have this big house and stuff. And yet you were crying, and I have nothing, and I never cried, not once. Naruto's been alone. I'm telling her not to feel sad because you have so much. You don't have. There's nothing you should be sad about. Always trying to cheer her up, okay, and trying to make her feel happy. While he had nothing, and yet he still smiles at the world, never letting him hold him back. And that's something you got to consider. Overall, I give this an A, maybe an A plus, because. And even though it's not canon to the main story and stuff, I really like how they showed the story angle of both of these characters as young kids, overall, before they become the badasses that they eventually become in the story. Hey, if you guys are fans of Naruto, Naruto-Hina, the relationship, and the last Naruto movie, and you will get a kick out of it. One thing I think is very funny at the end. The ending was a baseball story here with Naruto versus Sasuke playing baseball. We even get to see Jiraiya as the high-ass umpire. It's pretty funny. Overall. I like that they're bringing back some of the classic characters and they're no longer around, like Neji and Jiraiya. Even though it's not what you call overall important to the main story, I really like that could add character to this. I really like it. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Hey, give me a like, comment, tell me down below what do you think of this. For me, I liked it, story-wise. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hey, this is Silent Ass, gave my latest review of Naruto Shippuden episode 480. I'm out. Bye.